At Witness, we support and train activists and human rights defenders to create more trustworthy video evidence that can be used to advance the cause of justice and accountability in the court of law. I recently had a conversation with Wendy Betts, the director of the NGO eyeWitness to Atrocities. The organization was behind the development of a mobile camera app that enables users to document human rights atrocities in a way that is more reliable and easy to verify. What was the inspiration behind the necessity for creating such an application?
The idea for creating a mobile app to document mass atrocities really came about in 2010. And that's when we were seeing the rise of smartphones and social media, which allowed people to share information about human rights abuses that were occurring that in the past probably could have been hidden away. So you started to see people taking photos and videos of horrific events on their mobile phones and posting that information to social media platforms. The fact that digital information is so easy to capture and share, unfortunately, also means it's really easy to manipulate and share. And so as a result, it's very easy to dismiss that footage as fake. And this is really tragic because the people who are capturing this footage often are doing so at great personal risk to have it acted upon and not dismissed. So we developed eyeWitness to actually empower human rights defenders to counter these claims and to allow their accurate and authentic information to rise above the noise of misinformation.
That is very important, more so in current climes that we're in with the rise of misinformation. And, Witness as an organization, we've also been advancing conversations and advocacy around the harm that comes when people engage in distribution of shallow fakes or deep fakes that can harm the truthfulness and trustworthiness of videos that are being captured by civilians. But since it's a mobile app that is being used on phones, what would you say then makes the application unique and different from the native camera applications that are already on the phones?
So eyeWitness was designed to ensure that the photos and videos taken with it could be verified more easily than footage taken on the phone's native camera app, in particular for use as evidence for court, but also as evidence for advocacy and reporting. So if you step back, for footage to be used as evidence, you really have to demonstrate where and when that footage was taken and that the footage has not been edited. It's also really important to show that the information has not been changed throughout its lifespan. So from the time the footage was recorded until it's used as evidence. So again, be that by a court or in a report. So tracing that the footage remains intact from when it was created until it's used is called, in legal terms, the chain of custody. And the chain of custody is a really key component to the admissibility of evidence in court. So while a phone's native camera app can collect information about the location, date, and time the footage was taken, this information, which is also called metadata, can be changed. And additionally, as you know, the footage itself can be edited when it's taken with your native camera app. And then that means that to prove it's authentic, you really need to confirm that you took the footage and what's portrayed in the footage is accurate. So in other words, verifying the footage is still relying on the word of the photographer. Whereas with eyeWitness, the information needed to show that the footage is authentic is captured automatically and cannot be changed. So we're no longer relying on the photographer for this information. We're really relying on the technology. Another difference between eyeWitness and the native phone camera are the security features. So all photos and videos taken with the eyeWitness app are stored in a separate gallery that is password protected. So they're not visible in your standard phone gallery, should you be stopped and should your phone be searched. Then another significant difference between eyeWitness and the native phone camera is the ongoing support and the services that we can provide to our users. So most often we work in partnerships with organizations that are monitoring human rights and whose field researchers or monitors are using the app in their work. So eyeWitness then actively works to ensure that their footage can be used for justice. So we catalog and tag all the footage that is uploaded to the eyeWitness server, in a way that helps investigators to quickly understand what the footage contains. We then work to identify international, regional, or national bodies that are best placed to act on the information collected. Then we seek consent from our partners and the photographers to share their footage with these investigators. So in reality, eyeWitness is more than an app. It's really an overall support system that helps expand the reach that the footage can have.
I wonder, would there be circumstances where the app might not be the most ideal in a certain scenario? Are there limitations you feel that it's not applicable in certain spaces?
I think you've made a really good point there. Different camera apps are designed for different purposes, and therefore what they can and cannot do really varies. And as we've been discussing, we designed the eyeWitness app to ensure the footage is verifiable. And this goal also comes with some trade-offs. So for example, again, it's not possible to do live streaming because you can't stream and secure the master original version of the footage. You also have to record the footage with the app. You cannot use the app to later verify footage you've taken outside the eyeWitness system.
Take us through some of the things to bear in mind if somebody wants to access the eyeWitness to Atrocities app.
So first to know, the app is available for devices with Android 6.0 and above, which means you can download the app from the Google Play Store. So it's important to search for the eyeWitness to Atrocities app and make sure you have the app with the eyeWitness logo. So once you download it, you press Get Started to set it up and register the app. So the first few steps will be the setup and registration. So the first step is to accept the terms and conditions. Once you've accepted the terms, the next screen is where you input a username. This name can be an alias if you want to remain anonymous, so it's not required to use your actual name. And in the next screen, you have an option to provide an email address. So this is not required. What we would use this email address for is to contact you if investigators were interested in more context about the footage that you've submitted, and importantly, to seek your consent should any investigators be interested in your footage for an investigation. But on the other hand, you can leave it blank if you prefer to remain anonymous. Then the next screen is to pick the 6-digit PIN that you will use for entering the secure gallery where your images will be stored. Then you select the icon that you would like to appear in the app menu. And so that can be the eyeWitness logo, or there's a menu of 40 other more generic icons that you can use if you don't want it obvious on your device that you have the eyeWitness app. Then you select Finish to complete the setup. And then the last step is simply to accept the permissions required by Android. So that would be the camera, the microphone, the location, and managing calls. So once this is complete, you're now ready to use the app. Whenever you open the app, it will always open to the camera view. In the camera view, you can choose to record a photo, a video, or an audio recording. Then you tap the record button as you would with any other camera. Once you've taken a photo, it will be saved to the secure app gallery, which you access by tapping the portfolio icon on the camera view screen to open the secure gallery. At this point, you'll be asked to input your 6-digit PIN, but as an added security measure, should you put in any other 6 digits, then it will open just your standard phone gallery. So this is to hide the fact that you have a password protected alternate storage for photos. Then once you've opened the gallery, you'll see the images that you have taken. You can tap on an image to open it. Once it's open, you have the option to share it, to upload it, to see the details of it, or to delete it. The details screen will tell you the date and time that was recorded and whether any GPS coordinates were available. But just note, even if they weren't available, the other location data that eyeWitness collects will still have been collected. On this screen, you can also add notes about the situation you were filming if you want to provide more context. Then the upload option is how you send the footage to the secure eyeWitness server to ensure the chain of custody. And then once the copy of the footage is secured in the eyeWitness server, you can use the share function to share the copy that you keep with your networks or to post it to social media or use it however you would like. So basically, by using the eyeWitness app, you've secured a master version of the original with eyeWitness that is verifiable, and you keep your own version that you continue to share with your networks.
What do you hope to see in the future when it comes to the pursuit of justice and accountability?
Probably like all of us, what I hope to see in the future for human rights documentation, investigation, and justice is that there are no violations to document. However, we know that is not the world that we're currently living in. And in fact, we still live in a world where justice for atrocity crimes actually takes a really long time. So my hope is that increasing the ability of human rights defenders to collect verifiable information in real time and share that quickly will prompt quicker action and allow us to see justice happening much sooner.
To find out more or determine which mobile app will be most ideal for your scenario, please do get in touch with us. You can also be on the lookout for the other videos in this series that will guide you on how to more effectively document, preserve, and share evidence of human rights abuses.